Hi there, good noon, and welcome to another session where you and I get the opportunity to practice some more questions so that our thinking becomes more and more aligned, and so that gradually our percentiles also go ahead and become the kind of percentiles that we are targeting, 99 percentile plus. We want to be in that elite group of top 1% individuals for sure. So I welcome you to BYJU'S exam prep channel that is dedicated to your success as a B school aspirant. In case you are new here, press the subscribe button so that you are able to participate in the chat. And have you turned on the notifications from this channel yet? See, I'm asking because we keep on bringing a lot of sessions for you every day. I mean, even if I talk about today, I have a session at 12, then you have another session at 3 from Gaurav sir. In between, there are some videos that we keep on uploading. So multiple sessions practically every day. And if you have not turned the notifications on, I am sure that you're going to miss out on some of those things. And by the way, my name is Vikrant. I'm your personal coach for all things related to English and communication skills. I also dabble into the mental aspects of the preparation. For instance, here is this movie called Any Given Sunday. In case you haven't watched it, watch it after your exams are done, or maybe even before, whenever you're able to take out some time. And this is probably one of those most inspiring scenes or dialogues that I had heard, where you fight for every inch. Or in our case, you fight for every extra mark, you give it your everything. And that's how champions are made. And not only that, look at this, the 6 inches in front of your face. It's all about managing the next hour, the next half a day, the next day. You don't even need to worry about tomorrow. Just go out, give your best every hour on the hour, and I'm sure you'd go ahead and do something really amazing. So with that, let's dive into our questions. These are the directions for the first 3. I'll give you a passage. The passage will be followed by 3 questions. Your job is to read the passage carefully and then answer the questions that follow. Use the seeker of your YouTube video to refer to the passage once you are solving the questions. So Tushar, ready? Here you go. The first paragraph of the passage. Let me know once you're done. And you can also ask me something that you could not understand here, okay? It's a challenging passage, by no means an easy one. Okay, the next paragraph for you on the screen, here it is. What an interesting thought that came to the author, huh? Here is the next. And here is, should I take you over to the next? Okay, so that basically takes care of the passage. And here is your question number 1. What's your take? Okay, now if you want to answer this particular question, you would have tried to locate the comment by Bertrand Russell, and where exactly do we find that comment? Well, here it is. The second paragraph. What most people mean when they speak of returning to nature is really a desire to return to the world they knew as a child, or I would add the world they knew when they came of age. So what are we really talking about? So let's work through the process of elimination. Is it to provide a reason for her mourning the landscape when she saw it? No. If you look at the context, the author has moved from that landscape to how her grandchildren are going to perceive it. So it's not about that personal mourning anymore, and therefore A can be eliminated. How about B? To establish that the world of her grandchildren would be different from her world. That is too generalized. It is not about just the fact that it will be different. It is going to be the fact that, see, the author is mourning it, but the children, when they see it, they are not like going to feel that loss. For them, the current state will be imprinted. For them, that current state will be the normal. In fact, later on, the author has said that they may regret it just the way you would regret the passing away of woolly mammoths. Now, woolly mammoths became extinct thousands of years ago. None of us has ever seen it. We just know that, okay, there are these fossils, there was this animal which no longer exists, but it's not personal. Okay, we regret it merely because as a concept we should regret it. And therefore, this does not capture that idea. And once again in C, it is not about what is natural differs from generation to generation. No, the focus is not on the fact that it differs. The focus is what you see as a child is the normal, even if for the previous generation it is the abnormal. In some cases. And that is why D comes closest to that particular interpretation. And that's why D should be our answer. Here is your question number 2. So go ahead, give it a thought and tell me what you think. So considering that this question asks us to identify the assumption, there are two things that you need to know. Number one, what is meant by an assumption? So we know that assumptions are unstated premises. And number two, in order to eliminate the answer choices, what you can use is the negation test. So the problem with A is that if you negate it, even if it is not there in every society, personal grief can still become intergenerational. You know, it's not, the statement is not definitive. So even if you negate this every, you can still make the statement and therefore A can be ruled out. A reference landscape acts as a personal and intergenerational measure of grief. It may not. Look at this can. So it does not provide that support. They grieve about the same things. This is again very general. It does not happen all the time and therefore can be ruled out. But if you notice, the moment you negate D, the moment you say that do not share aspects, it becomes impossible for us to have intergenerational grief. So that tells you that D is absolutely necessary to make this particular statement. And therefore your answer to the question has to be option D. Here is the next one. Okay, so considering that we are being asked for what this sentence implies, you know that we approach it as an inference question. Every answer choice claims to be a conclusion, and we need to go ahead and figure out whether the conclusion or the given conclusion is true, false, or can't say. So let's check. They might regret that the places their elders valued are gone. Okay, the author's grandkids might not regret the change of places that their elders valued. This is can't say or false, right? It's not that they might not regret it at all. It is just that the regret for them is going to be very distant, a very impersonal kind of regret. So to say that they might not regret cannot be determined. Okay, how about B? The author's grandkids will treat the disappearance of the places their elders valued as a historical matter. Two problems. The passage talks about the change, not disappearance of a place. The place remains. And historical matter would once again, there are times when some historical matters become personal, unlike woolly mammoth. So the analogy may also not hold true. So because of these two things, I think the label that we once again apply is going to be can't say. How about C? The author's grandkids might experience only a distant regret. Yeah, that's definitely true. Might have more regrets than she has, will have lost more than. This is very clearly can't say, definitely cannot be arrived at using this particular sentence. So as we can see, C is the only option which is true. A, B and D are all can't say, and that is why C should be our answer, and that takes care of our passage. And with that, let me dive into our next set of two questions. Why don't you look at the directions once, please? Ready? So if you've gone through the directions, you know that what is coming is popularly known as a Parajumble. So here it is on your screen. Take your time and think of how these four should be arranged to arrive at an answer. So what say you? Okay, so shall we dive into discussing this now? By no means an easy question. It's definitely a bit of a challenge, but if we look at the first sentence, however, for small PBHs, whatever that is, we might be able to see it. Now, in the context of this passage, we can definitely infer that BH is black hole. I don't know what P is, but BH would be black holes. So you are looking for a sentence right before one that provides the contrast, and that can only come through 3. So for larger star-sized black holes, the time it takes them to evaporate is far too long to be noticeable, longer than the time the universe has existed. For small PBHs, black holes, we might be able to see it. So that, however, plus it tell us that 3 and 1 should definitely come together. Now 4 should come before 3. Hawking radiation, which makes black holes slowly evaporate. So this introduces the concept of black hole leaking some radiations, so needs to come before. And if you look at 2, black hole about the mass of a mountain and the size of a proton should be showing the explosive end of its light just about now. That can definitely follow 1. and therefore the best sequence for these four sentences should be 4, 3, 1 and 2. And with that, let me take you over to your next Parajumble. Here it is on your screen. Go ahead, solve it and share your answer with me. Okay, so let's go ahead and have a look at this particular question now. All right, so you notice how Huxley wondered, could humanity avoid such ignominious descent? So here is a question. Normally when there is a question, you need to see if there is a sentence that provides the answer. So in this case, 3 provides that answer. How could you avoid? Use science and technology. So that helps us connect 1 and 3 together. And then 2, like Malthus, Huxley was worried about overpopulation, but he was worried not just about quantity but quality. So that quality element is given in 4. So there are 2 reasons why 4 should come after 2. Idea, this part talks about that quality element, and 2, this he refers to Huxley. So you need to have 2 and 4 together. And this such in first then talks about the decline in quality. And therefore it's a pronoun that refers to this noun, and consequently it should come after, and that helps us. So 1 after 4, and that basically means that our answer should be 2, 4, 1 and 3 for this particular question. Why am I triggering all sort of different things today? And with that, let me dive into our next question now. So 5 jumbled up sentences related to a topic are given to you. 4 of them can be put together to form a coherent paragraph, but 1 does not belong to the paragraph. So your job is to identify the odd one out. So here it is. I'll just write it here in case somebody joins in a little late. We are solving a paragraph odd one out question. It's not a very straightforward question. You have to treat it as a parajumble, and it's only then that you can perhaps solve it. So if I were to read all the 5 sentences, it very clearly appears to be a criticism of welfare-based regulations, and the author says that we need to move towards a rights-based approach. So all of these are, in terms of ideas, linked together, but 2 and 5 talk about welfare-based regulations, but all these welfare-based protections prioritize human interest, and then this still helps you connect 5 and 1, and what is considered unnecessary is defined entirely by how humans use. So that connects 4 with 1. So 2, 5, 1, 4 definitely go in together if you have to leave one of these out. Now ideally you can very easily put 3 here at the end, but if you have to leave one of these out, then it must be 3, because it no longer talks about welfare-based approach, but introduces a new idea, a new thought, and that is why our answer to this question should be option 3. So that's where we stop today. In case you want to learn more, you can always head over to our app, unlock your trial, and attend sessions for a solid 3 days. After which you discover that we offer a very comprehensive CAT preparation program. It has delivered stellar results in the past, and you can definitely, most certainly consider joining it. If you want to know more about this program, or if you want to sit down with one of us and talk about how to carry your preparation forward, you can always fill the CAT counseling form. You'd find the link in the pinned comment above. You can click on that, fill it out, and you can sit down with a member of our team one-on-one, where we go ahead and discuss these things in greater detail with you. Right? Apart from that, of course, we are present wherever you are. So you can also reach out to us at any of these places, and we would love to help you move ahead, move forward in your journey. So that's where I stop today. Until I see you next, stay safe, stay focused, stay in touch, and do fill the CAT counseling form if you need more help. Have a great Sunday ahead. Have a great week ahead. It's not a Sunday anymore, it's a Monday. Have a great week ahead, and I'll see you soon.